Okay, we are on worksheet number 4 for balancing chemical equations, and we're doing 6 through 10 now. So here we have sodium, bromine, and chlorine. We have one sodium on the left, and we have one on the right. We have one bromine on the left, but we have two on the right, two chlorines on the left, and one on the right. So if we look in here, sodiums are balanced. We have one bromine and two bromines over on the right. So I'm going to multiply sodium bromide by 2 to make that balanced. That changed the sodium too in the process. So we can go back and we can change the sodiums on the right hand side and multiply NaCl by 2. That also changed the chlorines. And there's your balanced equation. 2, 1, 2, and 1. Alright, we are on number 7 now. We have magnesium, oxygen, hydrogen, and chlorine. We have one magnesium on the left and one on the right. We have two oxygens on the left. Because of this 2 out here, everything inside gets multiplied by 2. We have one on the right. Hydrogens, we have 2 here, but we have another one here, so we actually have 3 hydrogens on the left and 2 on the right. And chlorines, we have 1 on the left and 2 on the right. So 1 and 1. Oxygens, we have 2 on the left, 1 on the right. So I'm going to multiply H2O by 2 to make that equal out. That also changed our number of hydrogens up to 4. Notice I have hydrogens in multiple locations on the left-hand side. That means I'm going to skip it and come back to it and hope that it balances itself out. So I'm going to go down to chlorine instead. I have 2 on the left, or 2 on the right, I mean, and then 1 on the left. So I'm going to multiply HCl by 2. So now that changed the hydrogen, so let's check those out. We have 2 here, and now we have 2 here. We actually have 4 hydrogens. So our answer is 1, 2, 1, and 2. Alright, number 8, we have Fe, we have iron, sulfur, and oxygen. 1 iron on the left, 2 on the right. 1 sulfur on the left, and 1 on the right. Oxygens, we have 2 on the left. We have lots of oxygens on the right. We have 3 here and 2 here. We have 5 oxygens on the right. Alright, so let's get started. We have 2 on the right. We're going to multiply FeS by 2. So that means we have 2 irons now. We also have 2 sulfurs now. That means the ions are balanced. We're going to go to sulfurs. We're going to multiply SO2 by 2, so that way our sulfurs are balanced. That changes our oxygens up. We now have 3 here and 4 here, so we actually have 7 oxygens now. Now we have a problem here. No matter what I do, there's nothing I can multiply O2 by in order to get 7. So what I end up doing is I'm going to multiply by 7 halves. And then I'm going to multiply everything through by 2, so that way I can get rid of that half. So that 2 now becomes a 4. The 7 halves become a 7. Fe2O3 is 2, and we have that as 4. So let's check this again. We have now 4 irons on the left and 4 on the right. We have 4 sulfurs on the left. We now have 4 on the right. And oxygens, we have 14 on the left, and we have 6 here and 8 here. So that means we also have 14 on the right. See how that works out? It's a toughie. Alright, so number 9, we have phosphorus, chlorine, hydrogen, and oxygen. We have 1 phosphorus on the left and 1 on the right, 5 chlorines and 1 on the right, 2 hydrogens, and we have 3 hydrogens here and 1 here. We actually have 4 hydrogens on the right. And oxygens, we have 1 on the left and we have 4 on the right. Phosphorus are balanced. chlorines. We have 5 on the left and 1 on the right. We're going to multiply the right-hand side, the HCl, by 5. That also changes our hydrogens. We now have 5 here, and we have 3 more here. We actually have 8 hydrogens now. I'm going to skip hydrogens because you know it says in multiple places on the right-hand side. So I'm going to skip it and hope that it balances itself out. So oxygens. 4 on the right and 1 on the left. I'm going to multiply H2O by 4. So that gives us 4 oxygens. And that also gives us 8 hydrogens. And you notice by skipping it and coming back, hydrogens ended up balancing itself out. So 1, 4, 1, and 5. And our last one for this worksheet is number 10. We have carbon, hydrogen, and oxygen. This is a combustion reaction. We have 2 carbons on the left, 1 on the right, 6 hydrogens on the left, and 2 on the right. And we have 1 oxygen here and 2 more here, so we actually have 3 oxygens on the left and 3 oxygens on the right. Alright, so carbons, 2. I'm going to multiply CO2 by 2 to make the carbons balance out. That changes our oxygens. We now have 4 oxygens with CO2 and then 1 more. So we actually have 5 oxygens total now. Hydrogens, we have 6 on the left. We have H2O. We're going to multiply H2O by 3 to make that 6 on the right. That changes our oxygens again. We have 4 here, and we have 3 here. So we actually have 7 oxygens on the right. So we need to get 7 oxygens on the left. We have 1 of them taken care of. So we need 7. And we have 1 taken care of with the C2H6O. So that means we need 6 more. So that means I'm going to multiply this, the O2, by 3 to make that 6. And we have 1 more here to make it 7. And there's your balanced equation. And that is the end of the balancing equations worksheet number 4.